Y'all asked, and I delivered. To all my brothers and sisters in arms looking for budget builds, I have news for you. Today I will give you 5 budget guns you can use to obliterate most chads that come your way. I will include assault rifles, SMGs, snipers, and marksmans. Honorable mention to my community members for leaving suggestions in the comments. So without further ado, let's get started. By the way, this is part 2 of the first budget build video, so after you watch this video, go check part 1 out. First up is the poor man's AX-50, the Mosen Nagant. It was made by Russian-capped Sergei Mosen, and just like in real life, it's garbage in game. Without any attachments, the Mosen will cost you a cool 16,000 Koen. Not bad. With a couple of attachments, it'll cost you around 21,000 Koen. The performance, on the other hand, is not great. Since the Mosen is an entry-level sniper, expect entry-level performance. It loads 1 round at a time, so if you're caught reloading mid-fight, it's game over. The biggest problem with this gun is its ergonomics. It takes an excruciatingly long time to ADS, and by the time you're fully scoped in and ready to shoot someone, you'll be wondering how you got back to the lobby. Even just running with it feels like you're running through wet concrete. Cost-effectively speaking, there are way better snipers for a much higher price, like an M21, but for a budget sniper, the Mosen is your only option. It has a few customization options like a stock, muzzles, mags if you convert it, and scopes. So if you want to spend quite a bit more Koen to make it better, then I highly recommend you convert it into this. However, for a 25k price point, this is the best you can get. Next up is the UMP-45. I've never used this gun a day in my life until I tested it for this video, and based on my experience with it, it's an okay gun. It's not something I'd pick given the amount of freedom 7 million Koen can get me. It's also gotten me killed more times than I can count on both my fingers and toes, but that's probably because I'm not using it how it's meant to be used. Bone stock, the UMP will cost you around 5.2k Koen, but if you buy it from some shady guy on the internet, aka the market, you can get your hands on it for about 3k Koen. With all the bells and whistles you need to make it decent, it'll cost you around 25k. The price increase is what's crazy to me. A 22k increase for a pea shooter is diabolically criminal. The gun itself is not the problem when it comes to performance. It's the ammo type you're limited to. You can only use up to T3 AP ammo, which is pretty much useless against good and more. You'd stand a better chance by throwing rocks or shooting spitballs at players than killing them with AP rounds. There are better alternatives to the UMP that perform much better, like the Vector 45 or the MP5. However, those can easily cost over 25k to buy and modify. The UMP is not very cost-effective. Having to pay 25k Koen just to be limited to shooting legs with average ammo is not worth it. However, that's not to say it can't be useful. To make it as cost-effective as possible, you will need to do one of 2 things. Find a bush, become one with nature, and prey on unsuspecting victims, or play strategic, aim for players' legs, and cash in on the spoils. Next is my favorite love tap machine, the SKS. This baby and I have been through hell and back in a lot of raids. It costs around 4k Koen pre-mods, but if you convert it from this old piece of wood to this more modern piece of machinery, it'll cost 19-20k Koen. I also recommend you use T5 ammo to make the most of its semi-auto advantage. The SKS performs best at mid to long ranges, but with the help of a candid sight, you can take most close-range fights. Unless you're up against an MPX with T5 ammo, you'll be fine. It has a decent amount of customization options, so you can customize it however you want. The build I found works best though is this. If you have between 150k to 200k Koen, and you have the skills to pay the bills, then the SKS is a good gun to get you to 500k and beyond. Hey Dad, can you borrow me your MP3 player? I'll do you one better, son. The MP5K. It's a more compact version of the regular MP5. Even though it's a contact gun, I chose to include the MP5K because it's dirt cheap. It can be bought with faction currency, which you can earn by completing Column Defense Intelligence Service (CIS) missions. It costs 2K column on the Contact Faction store, and with all the MP5K specific modifications, it'll cost 3K column. That's cheaper than 3 cans of Nom Nom juice. It performs very similarly to a regular MP5. The difference is, it can't be suppressed. It's extremely lightweight, only weighing about 1.8 kilograms, so your stamina runs out slower and you can peek corners faster than other PMCs. It doesn't have much to offer when it comes to customization. It has very few options compared to the regular MP5, which makes it less versatile. But if you're fighting someone up close, just dumping a load of dum-dums into their legs will do the trick. It's somewhat in a gray area when it comes to cost effectiveness. It's extremely cheap, so if you get surrounded by a team and get trashed, it's no big deal. Last but not least is this piece of Russian art, the AKM. This wouldn't be a budget gun video without a Russian manufactured gun. When it was manufactured, it was designed to be a better version of the AK-47, and it pretty much feels that way in-game. It costs 12K Koen if you buy it through the gunsmith, and with all the bells and whistles, it'll cost you around 24K Koen. The recoil is much more controllable compared to the AK-74N, but that could be because I recently switched to gyroscope to control recoil. The fire rate is slower than the 74Ns, however, because it's slower, the recoil is decreased significantly. It has all the customization you can find on other guns. However, the AKM has one ace up its sleeve that other guns don't have, a 100-round mag. Pair it up with some good ammo, and you'll be a force to be reckoned with, pre-fire every corner, and make a lot of Koen or die trying. Thank you for your time. I'll be making another posing as video, and it'll either be AK related or M4 related, so stay tuned. I'll be uploading 1 or 2 videos a week because these videos take a lot of time and effort to make, unless I find a more streamlined method of making them. If you found this video entertaining, support me by liking the video and subscribing. It would help me out a ton and grow this channel so I can make more content for more people. And with that being said, bye-bye.